Hi, I'm Ray with Ray of Light Yoga. So glad you could join me today for practice. I would be using a blanket today just to add a little more softness into my life, a little more softness into my deep stretch practice today. I'm just going to spread out blanket onto my yoga mat, signaling to myself that I love my body. I value comfort that my body gives me, and it also makes me feel really full of self-love. So as we come into our practice, into your Sukhasana pose, sitting tall in your sits bones or lying down in Shavasana and corpse pose on your back. It's really up to you for our deep stretch today. Sitting up tall in our sits bones or lying down on our backs. We're going to begin with a body scan today. Taking 3 deep breaths as we settle into our bodies, letting the outside world go. And as we inhale, we're going to be inhaling from the low belly, filling up the ribs, and then all the way up to the collarbones. Let's take 3 deep breaths, inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Once more, leaving our to-do list behind, inhaling. Exhaling. Beginning our short body scan, feeling that tingle of awareness at the top of our head, at our crown chakra, our connection to the universe. Inhaling, filling up the belly like a balloon. Sending so much love and affection to your head, releasing the jaw, exhaling as you release. Inquiring as to the shoulders and the arms, inhaling. Exhaling, releasing any choked or restricted areas in the shoulders or the arms. As we continue down to the abdomen and the thoracic spine, inhaling. Inquiring to the thoracic spine and the abdomen as we release and exhale, letting anything go there. Inhaling as we move down to the pelvis and the lumbar. Sending so much love and gratitude to our pelvis and our lumbar spine, releasing as we exhale. Inhaling down to the legs and the knees. Exhaling, releasing any tightness in the legs or the knees, the backs of the legs. Exhaling everything out. Inhaling, continuing down to the shins and the calves. Exhaling, sending love to the shins and the calves, releasing any choked areas there. Down to the ankles and the feet, inhaling. Inquiring at the ankles and the feet, sending gratitude and releasing any restriction in the ankles and the feet as we exhale everything out. letting the breath come back to its unconditioned state here. If you're in Shavasana, please roll over onto your side and gently push yourself up into your Sukhasana pose. Sukhasana is our easy seat, finding our sukha, our sweetness, and our structure in our Sukhasana pose, our sthira. As we bring the palms to the knees and inhale from center, just making a few slow hip circles, exhaling as we roll forward, inhaling at the back, exhaling, letting the breath go, linking our breath with our movement, slowly distributing that synovial fluid into our hips in our hip opener class today. 2 more hip circles. Last one. Coming back to center, switching the front leg, sitting up tall again, shining the heart, rotating the shoulders back as we inhale at the top, exhaling as we roll forward, or just a few hip circles. One more here. Coming back to center. Bringing both of our bottoms of our feet together for our bound angle Baddha Konasana. Sitting up tall, beginning to flutter our butterfly wings. Here, distributing some synovial fluid in the femoral head of the hip socket. Breathing. 2 more breaths here. You can make your triangle of your legs as wide as you'd like them or as narrow, bringing them as close to your groin as you'd like. But if this is painful on your knees or your hips, a great idea to control those knees and to control the hips as we inhale. And then as we bend forward, these blocks help the hips relax and to keep the knees safe if you feel any kind of twisting sensation in the knees as we come down into our bound angle Baddha Konasana pose. As we exhale forward, hands are on the tops of the feet here, not pushing or forcing anything. This is also a beautiful place for a block. If you'd like to put your forehead on a block here for 3 more breaths. Or a bolster, or bring the block to the higher setting. 1 more breath here. On your next inhale, set the block aside, rolling over our ankles into our child's pose, our Malasana, triangling the knees, big toes are touching, extending the arms out, and the knees are open so that the belly can drop between. 3 breaths here in our Balasana pose. Again, feeling those hips open with each breath we take. One more breath. On our next inhale, into our tabletop pose, bringing the knees back to center, stacking the wrists with the shoulders, knees with the hips, and then just beginning to shift the hips back and forth. I'm going to do a few more hip circles, but from our tabletop pose. Whenever the hips are all the way to the right, let's exhale them down to the heels, inhaling them up to the left, exhaling down to the heels, inhaling up once more, coming back to center, shifting the hips again. Just distributing that synovial fluid here. And a couple of breaths. Shift them all the way to the left, exhaling them down to the heels, over to the right, inhaling back up. Exhaling down to the heels. Once more. Back into our neutral tabletop pose, inhaling the right knee up to the right elbow, bringing the lower leg out for our deer. Deer is a beautiful hip opener. Sitting tall, making contact with both sits bones here, shining the heart forward, shoulders are back, collarbones are smiling. Sitting up tall in our deer pose for 3 breaths here, eyes on the horizon. One more breath. On your next inhale, rock forward and plant the palms, extending that left leg out behind us, coming into our right-sided pigeon pose. This is a beautiful hip opener, our Eka Pada Raja Kapotanasana, bringing this right thigh shooting out at an angle to the long edge of your mat. The right foot, the top of it is pressed into the mat. The left leg is straight out behind us as we're inhaling up for our pigeon pose, exhaling forward. You can use a bolster or a block here, or just your hands, or it's great just to be on the elbows in pigeon pose, whatever you prefer. 3 breaths here. One more breath. On your next inhale, push up into the palms. Set your block aside or your bolster. Rolling on to the right hip, swinging the legs forward into our staff Dandasana pose, giving the legs just a little bit of a release to release that knee and hip. As we push up into our Dandasana, releasing our sits bones, some cushion on the sits bones, coming into our deer on our left side, sitting up tall, bringing the left foot to the top of the right thigh. The right thigh is folded. Sitting up tall, making contact with the sits bones. one sits bones, like in our left side, the right side would be a little bit higher than the left, but thus still making contact here. 2 more breaths. Shining that heart forward. 1 more breath. On our next inhale, rocking forward onto the palms, stretching that right leg out, straight out behind us, coming onto the palms for our pigeon. On the left side, the left quad shoots out from the hip to the long edge of our mat at an angle. The top of the left foot toenails are all pressed into the mat as we inhale up for our pigeon pose. Exhaling forward. For 3 belly breaths here. Last breath. On your next inhale, push into the palms, coming back into our tabletop, just extending that left leg out for an Achilles stretch and a shake, releasing the hip. And again with the right side, just a little bit of an Achilles stretch and a shake. So come on to our bottoms, coming into our wide-legged forward fold, our Upavista Konasana. Sitting tall here in our wide-legged forward fold. Make sure if you have a knee that's a little sore or maybe overextends itself when you're in your wide-legged forward fold, make sure that you have a blanket or a towel or something to put beneath that knee and show it some love. As we inhale for straight spine. And then gently walk the palms forward for our sitting wide-legged forward fold. Feet are active to the sky. 2 more breaths here. And there's many accommodations with the block. There's lots of levels to place your block. 1 more breath here, the tallest setting. On your next inhale, walk the palms back up. Make sure and accommodate your knee if you need to with a blanket or something soft. Inhaling up for a straight spine. For our Parivrita Upavista Konasana, exhaling as we revolve. Extend over the right leg for 3 breaths here. Turning our palms to the sky, open and ready to receive all the goodness the universe has to offer us. 1 more breath. On your next inhale, gently walk the palms back up, coming back to your center. Inhaling for a straight spine here. As we revolve. And exhale down the left leg here. 3 breaths. Your head to your knee, not pushing or forcing. And last breath. On your next inhale, again walk the palms back up, bringing the legs together, we're swinging around onto our backs. Bringing the knees in, just for a little bit of a Apanasana squeeze. Feeling that pinch at the top of our thighs, opening up the hips here, welcoming blood flow into the psoas. One more breath. Releasing the legs. Bringing our bottom of our left foot to the mat, crossing our right ankle over the left knee, and make sure that the bones of the ankle on the right foot are past the knee there as we come into our figure 4 pigeon pose. And this is beautiful here. If this is enough of a hip opener for you, pushing the leg here, putting pressure on the left knee with the right foot, but opening this leg up by pushing on the quad. Making sure that the spine is completely flat on your mat from the cervical to the tailbone. And whenever you're ready, reaching through the legs, clasping the hands under the left knee for our pigeon, our 4-legged pigeon pose. As we inhale, we push our legs away. And as we exhale, we bring them a little closer to us. Feeling that stretch in the sciatic, maybe even in the hip. Inhaling. Exhaling, bringing the legs closer. 2 more breaths here. Inhaling. Last breath. Releasing the left knee, left foot onto the mat. Let's heel toe that left foot to the long edge of our mat, cactus our arms, and let the legs fall to the right for a reclined twist. For 3 breaths here. Last breath. On your next inhale, let's unstack the knees, coming back to center. Bringing the knees in again for another Apanasana squeeze, knees to chest, maybe some hip rocks, rocking back and forth for a few easy breaths here. Distributing that synovial fluid through the hips and the low back. Let's exhale the right foot down to the mat, crossing the left ankle over the right knee for our figure 4 on the left side. Making sure that the shoulders are laid down flat onto the mat, that the spine is also flat on the mat. Both hips are on the mat. As we bring our left hand to the left quad, pushing on the quad, feeling a bit of a stretch in the hip. Depending upon which hip, I kind of feel it in both here. One more breath. Releasing that stretch as we inhale, reaching between the legs, clasping the hands underneath the right knee. Making sure that the ankle bones of the left ankle are past the right knee. The right hip is in alignment with the right knee. As we inhale, naturally pushing our legs out. And then exhaling as our legs come closer. Inhaling. Exhaling, making more room as we push our diaphragm down. Inhaling. Exhaling. Two more breaths here. Last breath. Releasing the legs so that the bottom of the right foot is down onto the mat, or heel toeing it to the long edge of the mat. Cactusing our arms as we let our legs fall to the left. Our chin goes to the right for 3 breaths in our supine twist. If stacking the knees here is painful, go ahead and unstack the knees just like we would have them in windshield wiper legs. 2 more breaths here. Our last breath. Releasing the knees before you come back to center. And one last Apanasana squeeze here for the knees. Making circles on the ceiling if you like. It's just a beautiful low back and hip massage. Whenever you've had enough in one direction, go the other. And then let's release the legs long Stretching them out, stretching the arms. One big inhale. Open-mouthed exhale. Bringing the arms down beside the body for our Shavasana pose. Making sure that your Shavasana is of the utmost comfort for you. I like to use a blanket. I like to use a bolster under my knees. We cool down really quickly in Shavasana. But it's so important to absorb the nutrients of our practice. Let's take another big inhale with an open mouth exhale to settle into our Shavasana. Inhaling, filling the belly up. Exhaling everything out, letting it all go. Thank you so much for practicing with me, yogis. It means so very much to me. Sending so much love. The divine light in me sees and honors the divine light in you. Namaste.